Can you tell us about where we've seen rate reductions coming in, sir?
Well, there have been a large number of commodities where rate reduction has indeed taken place. But it will be too difficult to now enumerate each one of them.
Any of the big ticket items, sir, in the 28% bracket? Anything that comes to your mind in the 28% bracket that's seen a reduction?
Yeah, there have been a number of items from 28% has come down, like kerosene stoves and consumer articles. Yeah, major changes.
Some consumer articles.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the export-related package, sir, so broadly, we are now back to the pre-GST benefit era for exporters till March 2018, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because there is a block of refunding or ITC claims of theirs. Under GST, whenever you import something for, say, production, manufacturing for re-export, still you would have to pay GST earlier. You would get a duty drawback exemption from paying import duty. But therefore, this money to reclaim by the exporters is becoming very difficult. So refund has been delayed, input credit has been delayed, and as a result, working capital requirement has risen, and this has also contributed to export problems. So we have decided to do something which should not actually be done under the GST regime. We have exempted exports, I must say, and there will be manual calculation of the refund possible and refund given. But this is only for a short period. Within another by December, January, by March, there will be e-wallet system coming in. We should take care of the problem of the exporters.
Okay, so you're saying that these provisions will be in place till March 2018, and after that the e-wallet will come into play. But Ms. Isaac, I'd request you to just hold on. Oh, yeah, the e-wallet. Let me go back to Mr. Godinho. Mr. Godinho, if we can talk about some of the key rate reductions that have been made, sir, if you can share some of those with us.
Frankly speaking, there are so many items that one loses count, because basically we wanted people on the ground to feel that we care for them. So it is those small items where the rates were raised, they have been lowered. For example, yarn also, which impacts also the textile industry, we have lowered the rates. Then some small items like clips and pins and things like that, where somehow it was wrongly or not taking note of it, it was placed in a 18% bracket that has been brought down to 5%, and several other things like that which actually impact the common man have rate has been drastically reduced. There is one area where there was a demand, like in restaurants, people feel in AC restaurants, wherever you go, 18 is too high a rate to be paid. Though there was a lot of discussion, there was almost a consensus, but they felt because of the claiming of ITC, they should refer it to a committee. But in principle, we have decided to lower that rate to 12%, which was also the demand from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and various other states. So like that, there is also work in progress to make GST even more people-friendly.
Okay, that's an important point that you make. Let me go across to Thomas Isaac. Mr. Isaac, Mr. Godinho saying that in principle, the GST Council has agreed to bring down the rate from 18% down to 12% for AC restaurants. But then why, sir, has a group of ministers been set up to look at this issue?
Because there are two possibilities. One, we can split the restaurant into AC and non-AC. The AC part will have 18% and non-AC 12%. And now that is one proposal. Other will be to have a 12% without ITC. Which to use? Because most of these restaurants also would come under composition. Now the composition limit we are raising to 1 crore. It may even be raised to 1.5. And very important decision made has been that up to 1.5, the small dealers and manufacturers, and also service manufacturers, they need to pay only the quarterly returns and quarterly payments. That's a big change.
Okay.
It reduces the harassment to small suppliers. So all this will be discussed together in a committee, because there are certain numbers.
By when do you expect the committee to be ready with its recommendations? Because again, I want to clarify this: the decision is to bring the rate down from 18 to 12, but the mechanism is what you have to arrive at.
That's right. That's right. And also how this change in the composition limit would affect this and so on. So, but in principle, it's agreed upon. It has been tweaked. So the committee, the Union Finance Minister was saying in, say, 10 days' time.
Okay, in 10 days' time. That's an important clarification. Any other significant issues that were on the agenda, but perhaps a decision was not taken and has been pushed to the next meeting, sir?
No, just a very detailed discussion, because GST seems to have adversely affected one as the sports, other the service sector. So most of the day was spent discussing the impact on the sectors and how what should be done very quickly. And since some of the actions that we were proposing were against the essence of GST structure, there were some principal objections to that. But I think more practical approach has been adopted by the Council.
Will any of these changes require any kind of amendments to the law itself, sir?
If in case we decide to raise the exemption limit for small dealers from 1 crore to 1.5 crore. 1.5 crore because excess limit was that. Then it will require a change in the law. Second, if you are going to permit small dealers to have interstate transactions, the composition dealers, that also would need to have a change in the law.
Okay. So, Mr. Godinho, would you also be able to share any more light in that? So, from our understanding of what we've just heard from Mr. Thomas Isaac, there are only 2 changes that would require amendments. Is that accurate?
See, when you take the decision in the council, first of all, every decision that has been taken, it has been by consensus. Even though people may have differing views, it is really heartwarming to watch people from different parties and from different states to come together to arrive at a common decision in the interest of the country and in the interest of the Indian economy. Having said that, there are many, just a couple of decisions which would need changes in the law. Meanwhile, till the next meeting that is to be held on the 9th of next month, the 9th and 10th in Guwahati, they will, various committees will meet, they will do their homework. We also will interact with the people at various levels and see even what further refinement and improvement is there in the implementation of the GST, where the stakeholders get the right relief in the right places, and at the same time, it does not impact our finances accruing to the exchequer of the central government or the state government. We are also concerned about that. But at the same time, we are seized of issues concerning the state and concerning the center. And that's how this committee also will be submitting its report in 10 days' time. They will work on it. And if decisions are to be taken, they will be taken via video conferencing, or if it necessitates to giving them a little more time, then come 9th and 10th in Guwahati, we'll be deciding those issues and several other issues which will be laid on the table at that point of time.
Okay. Mr. Godinho, very quickly, sir, just wanted to understand, In the last meeting as well of the GST Council, we saw almost 40 rates being revised. What is the number of, if you do remember that number, sir, of the commodities that have seen a revision of rates today? And then what does this tell us in terms of the method in which these rates were arrived at, and what does this then do to the assumption that the rates arrived at were revenue neutral?
See, basically, there is a fitment committee, a committee of officers also who looks into this entire gamut of pre-discussion and getting the real time figures from the state as to how it would impact the state revenue, how it would impact the revenue at the central level with the central officers sitting on that committee. So they do their homework well and they deliberate well. So decisions are bound to be taken after a lot of healthy discussion in the best interest of the entire the system of evolving a consensus at the GST Council. And then we give our inputs, and that's how the decisions are taken.
No, I understand, sir. But Mr. Godinho, was there a status check or an assessment that was shared with the GST Council in terms of what the pain perhaps is being felt on the ground at this point in time? Because obviously the changes that you have made is to alleviate and address the pain that's being felt. Were you given some sense of what the impact has been on the ground of the GST rollout so far?
Yes, there were quite a few people who did highlight several things. To be frank, I myself highlighted the pain and anguish felt by the people, even though many genuine decisions have been taken and many rates have been lowered, but the benefit not actually accruing to the person at the ground level. This has, and the perception being that, oh, we are not getting the benefit, because when GST was introduced, there were high hopes, and to a great extent, people thought many things will just come down. So, say, and it is not the ground reality. So, all these things were deliberated, but we are very confident that in due course of time, with things will stabilize and things will work out better than what it is working now. Because one has to realize this is such a huge reform in indirect taxes and such a large economy. So things evolving right from the top after decisions have been taken, evolving to the bottom does take a little time. And it is not little more than 3 months only that we are grappling with all sorts of things that where the rough edges are being smoothened.
Mr. Godinho, we were given to understand that the feeling within government is, or the hope within government is, that by December there could be some degree of stability, and a lot of the pain and anguish that you spoke of will be addressed by December. Is that your understanding as well, sir?
Yes, certainly we are moving in that direction to with the requisite inputs that are necessary from each member or each state, and as well as every council member is giving those inputs which further the things that are to be done in a much better manner, which otherwise would have done in a normal course. By December, we do expect things to normalize and sort of fit in nicely in the groove by that point of time. But we are not waiting for December. In fact, at the why perhaps everybody is feeling it is December is, if I may say so, the meeting that is slated in Guwahati. When some meeting takes place outside Delhi and when it is a 2-day deliberation, they feel that much more better output is there from members over a 2-day meeting when they are outside Delhi. Because here it is only serious business, like there it is you're exercising your brain in a little better atmosphere with more inputs.
Mr. Godinho,
and more
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So one specific question I want to raise before I bring, and we have the country's top tax experts right here on CNBC TV 18 waiting to also ask you their questions and seek clarification from you, sir. But one quick question if I could put in, because this is an issue that that a lot of people have written to us about, and this is the car leasing issue, sir. We were given to understand that a rate reduction was being considered. Has that been cleared?
Sorry, I did not get you. Rate reduction in various items, right? What are you asking me?
Car leasing, specifically for the car leasing business for corporates as well as for individuals, sir.
That is, to be very frank, because I got the call, I came out that is just being discussed and I'm being called inside, so I had to rush inside.
Okay, we will let you go, Mr. Godinho. Truly appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 and giving us all the highlights from what was discussed and the decisions that were taken by the GST Council. So that's it. It's official. Virtually every news break that we've put out since last night now being confirmed there by both Thomas Isaac, the Finance Minister of Kerala, as well as the representative of the state of Goa in the GST Council.